if you are just going to start if you're going to start a business to make money, this is my opinion, you are going to be way less motivated to continue the grind that it actually takes. There is no such thing as an overnight success. You're not going to be a millionaire in 12 months. All that's bullshit. You have got to love what you're doing, and you just got to do it because you love it. Somebody will pay you for it eventually.
The Perspective Podcast is fuel for your mind and creative grind. Each week, my guests and I provide the skills for thinking bigger, overcoming adversity, and making an impact with your work. PC family, we have a special Side Hustlers episode for you today as I'm joined by my family of Fred and Chanell of Iron Bean Coffee Company today. Welcome to the Perspective Podcast. How you guys doing?
Good. We're doing good, Scotty.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's cold. You guys probably just got hit with a massive snowstorm recently as well. No, that went past you?
Tons of rain.
Tons of rain. Okay, you were on that side of it. Like, it just went like an hour away from us where all the snow just shitted on everybody else in Iowa. So, okay,
Ohio
perfect.
Weather's been really weird this year.
Sounds like Iowa. And everybody thinks when I say Iowa, I'm Ohio or Idaho, but no.
Midwest, baby.
Midwest. And where at in Ohio are you guys located? Because there's a lot of listeners in Ohio.
Toledo. Northwest Ohio, NWO.
But our shop is in Perrysburg.
Okay. That's going to be important for people to find you and buy your shit. So let's just, was that me? Because I apologize.
What?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't hear nothing.
That was my mail. Okay, here we go. Let's just dive into the Iron Bean story. First, just give us a brief Wikipedia page about who you both are, and then just the Iron Bean Coffee Company brand. Where the hell did it come from? What is it? Who's it for? And why people should care?
Who's it for? It's for everyone.
This is supposed to be your 10-second elevator speech, right?
So
brief Wikipedia page summary.
We went on like one of those dates, you get away from the kids for a little bit and drop them off at school, and we went and had some bagels and coffee at this place called Bagels and Bakes. And that's kind of where it started. You walked in and it felt like family. Like, I don't know, it's just the whole atmosphere was really nice. It was calming. People were really friendly. They welcomed you there. People that sat there drinking the coffee would like look at you and just kind of nod their head to acknowledge you and stuff. And then while we were sitting there, we're like, man, wouldn't it be nice to just have like a little place where people come together and they know each other, and it's nice. It's like a family, that family feeling. So we kind of wanted that. I wanted it probably more because I'm not really that close to all of mine. I mean, I love them, but I don't have that closeness. So I think I wanted it more. So I felt like, and I've been treated by strangers like better than family at times. So
that was the catalyst. That was 20 years ago. Yeah, it was 20 years ago.
So then we kind of like talked about it, and we were in like a really deep conversation about it. And so then we talked about it when we got home. And then I think it was like every year we talked about it. Like we would constantly talk about it. Like
just the thought of a coffee brand or what?
Yeah,
not a brand.
Just coffee.
What this evolved, we wanted a coffee shop, and it had nothing to do with coffee. We just thought we wanted a place like Chanell just described. It didn't matter if we were selling Coca-Cola and chocolate chips, lotto tickets and toilet paper. We had all kind of ideas. We just wanted this place. And that was the catalyst for the dream, place for community.
Yeah.
So as time went on, it was 20 years ago, as time went on, our interest in coffee grew more and more and more. So that dream evolved into a coffee shop. And we literally talked about it every day. Like, oh, hey, babe, when we open that coffee shop, everything's going to be great then.
Yeah.
And so fast forward 20 years, our kids grew. They were able to feed themselves. And there was a lot less fear in who was relying on our paychecks.
Plus, we moved a lot. We relocated about, I think, 7 times in 9 years.
Because Fred was in the military.
Because I was on the railroad. I had gotten out of the military, met Chanell, got married, and then I hustled and grind what I thought was a hustle and grind for the benefit of us, and I found a good job.
So yeah,
and it was a good paying job, but there was no passion. And that job I did perform.
And we needed that job. I came with 2 kids, and he just got out of the Marines. So it was like
it was instant family.
Instant family, and we both just like put our whatever we had together, and we both worked. And so it wasn't easy. It was, it wasn't like, he didn't really have much. He didn't even have a car when I met him.
Yeah. So
I let him take my car to go to work, and then I would go to work. So I would always share my car and stuff like that. So it was just the money part of it was, I don't know, that was more of a focus on making sure the kids were, got the things they needed and stuff like that. And we kept the roof over our heads. So the job transfer was part of that.
Right. So that's where
that decision.
That's where all of our effort went into, was making this career so that we could support our family. But then as the kids moved out, getting to the point of the question, I know it should have been a short answer, but when the kids moved out, and then the corporate world really started to seep into the railroad that I had worked for, and some of our executive leadership had changed, the job started to become tedious, stressful. Wasn't what I knew immediately. This wasn't our passion to travel around the railroad anymore, and we really started to realize that you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So we talked one day and said, babe, we need to open this coffee shop that we've been talking about for 20 years. We have to just do it. I mean, it's been forever now. Yeah. And you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And you think about that, I could be dead tomorrow. We could hit a bus and then everything's going to end.
It's like one of those, if you're on your deathbed, what are you going to regret the most kind of thing? Yep.
And that's exactly what it was. So to fast forward to what did it. It was exactly what you're talking about. So we're familiar with this poem, Rage Against the Dying of the Light. And we thought that we were living the meaning of that poem. If you look back on your life, what are you going to regret that you didn't or you didn't try to do? And we were kind of applying that to this career, but this career was not passion fueled. So that's when we said we're going to do it.
Yeah, we were sitting in the backyard and we were going over everything.
That's right.
And just talking about, like, where you start talking about your dreams again. And he's like, babe, look, you want to just do it? I'll just turn in my 401k. We'll sell my favorite truck that he just got. And he's like, and we'll just get whatever we can get rid of and sell, we will. Unless you want to just do it. And I looked at him and I said, yeah. Go ahead. So then we started like Googling and started like looking up and just going through all these different things, like like how much buildings were. And we were like, oh, we looked at each other like, it's like that kick in the, like you finally make that decision. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, once again, we can't afford this.
Yeah.
So then we started looking at food trucks and we were like, once again, another kick in the stuff. When you see the prices of stuff, you're just, I don't know, it gets discouraging, but I think we were like, no matter what, we would not let each other fail. We didn't in the 20 years we've been married. So we just said, you know what, we've been through a lot worse and we've held each other up and we've gone through everything together. So let's just do it. And that's when we started selling everything.
Yeah. We played business at first. So we came up with a DBA name. We registered with the state. You're about $100, maybe $250 in, and you're like, oh, we have a business now.
Oh, we're the shit.
Yeah. So we're playing business, right? I'll be the CEO and you'll be the president. This is going to be so cool. And in our imagination.
And then we went through the argument, who's going to be the CEO?
Yeah. We still haven't figured that out yet. And we don't even use those terms anymore now that it's real, right? We just do what we got to do.
Everybody knows who the boss is.
So we had to, and like Chanell said, it was a coffee shop. That was the beginning thoughts, was this coffee shop. So we had in our mind, we had this hobby of coffee roasting. We're going to open this coffee shop, and that in our minds probably would have cost $1 billion because it was beautiful in our imagination. There's no budget when you're thinking about it. And then, like Chanell had just said, we started to look at property. We just want to buy an old brick building in downtown Toledo, and that was $500,000. So then we're like, oh my God, this ain't gonna work. So we said, well, so this is like maybe a month or two had gone by. And we're like, well, we know what we got to save for and how we really have to do it. And that's when we sold the goods that we didn't need. We sold a truck, we sold a Harley, applied for some credit cards. So we needed some catalyst money. And then we pulled the lever on my day job. We didn't leave work yet. And we started a Facebook page and a website and said, well, we know what to save.
He's like, there goes your retirement. Like, ugh.
And was this Iron Bean then? Was this was phase 1 of Iron Bean?
Yeah.
Was a dream of a coffee shop, not even a true coffee roasted brand with products and merch or any of that.
To do with, we were going to roast coffee for our shop.
Yeah.
And that was all the
Serve it,
coffee
that's
roasting
it.
we were going to do.
I already think there's a huge takeaway. There's a huge takeaway right there is like your dream, however you start it, you just need to get started and it's going to evolve into something you don't even understand at that moment when you're in the micro.
Absolutely.
Like that's how my whole path has been as well. So like, boom, that's already like takeaway one. Just get started, like dream and then act.
Right. And we didn't follow the path of least resistance. I think we followed the path of shit, what should we do next? It was all effort. I mean, it didn't matter what choice we made at any given crossroad. It was going to be hard.
Yeah.
And then, but this is where our interest and our passion lied the most.
It was kind of, the easy part was because we talked about it for so many years that we had the ideas there, like with the characters and, you know, like we were in a motorcycle thing, you know, that we rode bikes and stuff like that. Yeah. So he already knew he liked the skull thing and, you know, and I like birds and I love animals. So it's like we already talked about a lot of stuff, like what we would do. Mm-hmm. So that part was more simple, you know?
Yeah,
that was like
for those who don't know, owls are their mascot. They got Nori and Dylan and they're just like hard edge, badass spirit animals for people.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And a skull that pops up in every once in a while because
you gotta have a skull. So like, what was phase two?
Like if people really looked into all our stuff, they would and then looked at our history throughout the years of even having Facebook, they would see like his tattoo, Rage Against the Dying of the Light. That tattoo was way before we even started. You know, they kind of, I guess it's kind of like Fred and Chanell, and it's like our life.
It's a personal brand. It truly is. And that's like the community aspect. When I found you guys was through the whole Dunedin pottery coffee launch stuff. And then we collabed, you know, I've mentioned you guys plenty. You're pretty much on every episode. Like you support people like Patreon, like Fred and Chanell.
Baby. If you're not supporting Perspective on Patreon, you're wrong.
You get the shout out every episode. So then like, when did things really start to take off to be this coffee roasting brand? You know, like you got to stumble and keep stumbling. So
we went to what was that place called? Now I can't even remember. Was it school?
Mill City Roasters.
We went to Mill City Roasters and we said, you know what? If we need to learn everything about the roasting part of it more than what we know, like the roasting in a cast iron, there's got to be way more to all that.
So education was like, once you realize where the place you wanted to go, you're like, oh shit, maybe we don't know what we don't know. So
So we wanted to get more involved and not just wing it. So we went and did that, and we spent the whole day there, and we did pretty good. Actually, I did better than Fred there.
She's better coffee roaster on day one.
I was, but then he turned out he's the pro. Now I think I get too nervous with it.
There's a lot of fire involved.
Yeah, there's sometimes we've had a couple fires, but So it was after that we came home. And I went to my hometown, upstate New York, for a little vacation. It was like just for a couple of days with our daughter. And this one decided to put some stuff up online.
That's right. I forgot about this.
So I went to call him just to say, hey, let him know what was going on back at home and stuff like that. And he's like, babe, I got to go. I'm like, well, what are you doing? He goes, I got this place a mess. I got orders. And I'm like, what the hell did you do? So then he said he put some orders up. He said, well, I didn't know it was going to sell like that.
We did, when we started the website, there's like no traffic, right?
What year was this? Because when did Iron Bean start?
March of 2017. Yeah. So we played business December 8th, 2016. That was the day we incorporated. And then March of 2017, we got our first order on the website from a stranger, you know, and we're literally selling, when I say orders on the website, we're selling
2-3 things. We had patches.
3 pounds of coffee a week.
The first thing was patches.
Yeah, we're not selling anything, really.
But to him, when you get to know him more,
that first sale is just like, whoa.
The first sale.
It's a mental.
It's a house or two.
It's a mental shift.
Was big.
It's a mental shift. Even for like a lot of audience who put out patches or put out whatever their first product is, like that first sale, that was like a mental shift for me. Like, whoa. Yeah. And it was a complete stranger in a different state. Like that unlocked a new level for me.
Chanell checked her Facebook, and it's not a friend of mine. And then I checked my Facebook. I go, it's not a friend of mine either. And it's not even a mutual friend.
Like, well, who was it? And then I'm like, well, where are they from? You ask all these questions because
how they find us.
Like, it was really interesting. Like, your first customer of someone that you don't know, you want to know everything about them. And I'm like stalking them on Facebook. You know, I'm like, who's this person? But
is this a trick?
Well, something you guys do that I totally noticed, because I'm a part. Sometimes I'm a lurker. Sometimes I'm involved. It depends on my schedule. But you guys treat every customer like it's your first customer. You do the unscalable things, and that's like a huge thing. Where I think people lose sight. They just like, oh my God, I only got one customer. Just get it out real quick. And I'm like, but you guys like ran handwritten notes and dumping swag and stickers. It's like you truly treat each customer.
When we wanted the building, we want, like, there's other coffee companies that do it. They call it something else, like suspended coffee. And it was something that we read a long time ago about suspended coffee. And we always said, if we opened up a little shop, I want to be able to do something like that. So I'm like, I want to give to people that are less fortunate, or just somebody that needs the cup of hot coffee. I mean, anything, or share it with somebody. We wanted people to come together, like put those phones down, come together and sit down and talk, bring back communication with one another. Cause we've like completely have gone so far away from that. So we couldn't do that because we never got the building. So then when we started the online, I said, well, I still want to do it. So that's when we brought into the Brew It Forwards. So we have like these little sample bags back there. I don't know if you can see them. But, so it was so we would and we still do, we randomly put them in orders so that person can share it with their mailman or a teacher, someone, just anyone.
It's an icebreaker. We're trying to
create people to come together. Yeah. So we started like that before everything even went into effect. It was just how we treated people, and we'll always be that way. So that's stuff that's really important to us, and that's why we do it.
That's exactly why we do it. When we started this dream 20 years ago, and it was just about people, it's still about people. And that's why
it's the pillar.
Every single customer
pillar and grinding your ass off.
Yeah.
You know, so like the community aspect, like talk about the growth of the community, because like they pretty much determine what product is going to be coming out. Yes, and then they also are the reason that everything sells out so quickly.
Yes, they are.
Absolutely.
You know, like, so like, I know people in the audience, they want to like grow communities around their artwork or whatever their passion or their hobby is. So I would love to like know kind of like your tips for growing community around whatever it is you're doing. And then how do you launch successful products? Like if you could reverse engineer, like, why are your product launches so successful? Like, what are some of the things you're like, oh shit, maybe that was it, you know?
Having this time, it's been about 3 years now. We're coming up on 3 years of actual selling stuff on the internet.
Not just play business, but real business.
That's real business. And the community didn't start, the way the community started wasn't even our idea initially. And it was a friend of the company, right? And he's like, you need a fan page. And
we did have a community. It was in the other room. Is where we started. We moved everybody over to that. Yeah, we didn't have the nation.
We didn't have the Iron Bean Nation, like our specific community. So we were involved in other communities of coffee mug collectors. And then somebody said, hey, you guys need to start a fan page. But we were way too humble and way too.
Yeah, we didn't want to be.
We didn't feel like a fan page for Iron Bean. What are you talking about? That's ridiculous. I said, we're going to be like douchebags, you know, to be so pretentious that we're going to start a fan page for our own company.
Yeah,
and then
we were against it.
And then we didn't want to do it in the beginning. But as soon as it started, I would say
we were creating friendships from the other communities.
Yeah.
So it was like, our first thought was, well, they're coming with us then, you know, like it's our family, like we literally get to know everybody. Like I know, like every time I pack an order, I know that person, you know, so.
Right. So we started to invite the people that we knew and our regular customers into this group. And then it blew up. Now, I don't know how we rate compared to other companies. We have 1,800 members in there, but I would say that there's probably 300 or 400 active members and probably 100 that are active daily, sometimes multiple times a day.
Let's pull it up.
Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah.
I'm just pulling up the Iron Bean Nation.
The Iron Bean Nation. TM. We
TM. You trademarked.
We didn't really trademark it. It looked cool on Facebook.
Yes,
so,
got
it went
1800.
through a couple of iterations of the name of the group, but we ended up with the Iron Bean Nation because it's a nation of like-minded, coffee-loving people that support each other. It's wicked.
Yeah.
The key to it has been being actively involved in it. So you can't just start a group and then just let it go. I mean,
if you build it, they will come philosophy, because that's all bullshit that only works in Field of Dreams in Iowa, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, that's a part of it, but you can't just build it and walk away.
Yeah,
You have got to be involved. So we are incredibly transparent. We used to do tons of Facebook Lives, and those are things we're like, hey, baby, today we got to go live in the nation because we haven't done it in a while. And then the grind, kind of catches up to you. But we're definitely posters, we're sharers, and we talk to everybody. I mean, you post somebody in there, if we're tagged or we catch it, we're interacting. Maintaining that interaction and talking to your customers like they're people.
And what's really
you don't
cool
have
is
some like pre-scripted customer service. Well, thank you for stopping by the nation today. I hope that this, I don't know, cured your problem. We just talk like Fred and Chanell in there.
Yeah,
so
we're
being
just
real
ourselves.
people and being available.
That's what's important. If you want to, when you were asking that, your first question is, let people be involved with your life. Let them be honest up front. Let them be part of your life. I mean, I like to know the people I talk to, and no matter if it's our business or any business, I like to know even the people that want to support us with, have asked us, hey, can we sell our coffee? First thing I'm doing is researching. I want to make sure they've got a good heart, for one. They don't have to be perfect, because nobody is.
Nobody's perfect.
But you got to have some kind of integrity. And I don't care if you can sell 1,000 bags for us. If you have no integrity, I'll wait for the right person to come along. So that's pretty much how. Just be honest with your friends. They're not customers. I hate calling them customers.
Yeah, customers is the definition.
Because I tell you what,
they are.
there's not a company in this world that would not be a company or any without the people. The people they are the ones that make it all happen. I mean, yes, we have to do the grind, but that's just should be your way of automatically showing appreciation for your customers,
And for someone listening, I see a lot of parallel. Again, it's a personal brand. And in order for to let people be involved in your life, you have to show up and have that vulnerability side, because I learned people aren't just trafficking your Instagram to hire you just because you have dope work. People are hiring you because of not only the work that you do, but the person behind the work. Same thing about you guys. People are supporting you, not because you're just Iron Bean. I mean, some people are, but the majority it's because Fred and Chanell behind Iron Bean and the community you create and how you treat each person, not as a customer you don't treat a fan just as a fan. They are an actual human. This person isn't just a like on your Instagram post. They're someone who has a life. The relatability is a huge factor in a brand's like your guys' success. And I think you guys are hella relatable, because you have a day job and you're building this grind and dream. You build community, and I see a lot of what I do and what you guys do.
Yeah.
I listen to your podcast constantly, and the parallels between the creative grind and the coffee grind are huge, even though the industry is so different.
And then we collide worlds.
Absolutely.
We bring the creative world to the coffee world. So it's
That's my mom's favorite mug, by the way.
It is.
Out of all of them, my mom's like, I like this one.
What's up, Miss Chanel's mom? What's up?
Yeah.
What's up, Mom?
She does. She has to have a certain, I don't know what it is. She just likes certain things, and that's it.
And that's one of them.
But I think that's the power of this whole side hustle thing, is it doesn't matter what kind of content or medium or focus you're going, the same principles of bust your ass, have something that revolves around your passion, your interest, your beliefs, and it's something you're good at, roasting. You sucked in the beginning. Everybody sucks in the beginning. No one just is great right away. I mean, even Jordan sucked in high school. He didn't even make the team. So it's things like that are just the constant principles. If you can master these,
make you better.
Yeah. And being aware of it and accepting it will make you a lot better.
For sure. And then aligning it with something you are truly passionate about. All these things are all the principles that it takes to be a successful side hustle to a potential full-time business, but you just got to match it with those things that you truly love and lights you up. So like that's pretty much the formula, I feel like, and we could just call it done today. And now people give us their money, so we could just. But
I don't know if that end's ever coming. Yeah.
No, and
you can just sit back and let the profit machine run. It
right. That doesn't happen with how we do it. But so, like, how do you manage your time? Because then this is a side hustle. How does the whole dynamic?
We don't. We have absolutely no. There's no time for this or time. We just do it.
You don't have a structured routine like, hey, I know before I go to work, I got to do this quick, and then I got to do this. So you guys are just flying by the seat of your pants.
I feel like if we do have a structure, it's going to ruin the flow. Like you just keep
some
going.
Magic.
Like, yeah, we make it work. Whatever we have to do, we'll just make it work. The only thing that we've changed is just let's set one day aside where we're not on our phones as much, or working
Monday or Sunday mornings.
Even if it's to go out to breakfast, that like Bob Evans will ride down and it's only like 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
So, and then the family vacations, we just make sure that's what we pay attention to. So other than that, I think we're fine with it not being structured.
It's chaotic. I am very envious of your structure specifically. And you talk a lot about structure.
It's what works for me.
It works, and it's working great. And I am honestly envious. As green as you can get, that's me.
You have a little one too. So.
we gotta get organized like this. You gotta block out time for yourself, block out time for your fitness, block out time for your work, block out time for whatever.
But that works for me. But a lot of people, they don't even know how to just show up and wing it and find success though. Like some people just need to like have some kind of system, so like,
I think I don't know.
I mean, clearly you're getting results though. Some people don't even. Yeah. Some people don't know where to even start. So like, how many hours or how much time a day goes into this? So like the day job. Are you back at the railroad again? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I'm at railroad number 3 since we started.
Because you did a little
ridiculous.
Because you took a little break and did this full time for what, like a month, or then went back.
It was we were 9 weeks, so we needed a little bit more catalyst money, and along the line came the coffee truck. Back in the beginning when we were playing business, we're like, well, we can't afford a building, so we'll get a coffee trailer, and it'll be the nicest trailer you ever seen. We couldn't afford it then. And then at some point, work got so stressful and interfered so much with this passion, this project, that we said, I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave this job. I'll find another job, and I'm going to take out my 401k. Chanell mentioned it earlier. We took that 401k money and invested in ourselves and bought a coffee truck. We bought a truck.
Yeah, what do you call the coffee truck again?
The Roost.
The Roost.
We had one of our customers actually name, like everything I think that we do, we have the customers all involved with that.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Hence why your product sales are so popular. Hey, vote on what color of mug color do you want? Like, what's the design? It's
not about what we want.
The name.
As long as it feels good, that's important too. Like somebody can come up with something and say, I want this, but if it's not something that we like believe in or don't, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, we don't do everything,
but
we do
got to feel right.
The name Iron Bean Coffee Company was not our idea. That was a Facebook community idea. So the name of Iron Bean's not ours. The name of Nori, our main logo image, our owl, our girl,
your mascot,
Nori. She was named by the community.
Like we had her as the owl. We drew her up, but we didn't have a name for her.
We called her the Rage
And I wanted
Owl.
her to have a name.
Yeah, she needed a name. Yeah. So we put it out there. Hey guys, name contest. What are we going to call our owl? So they gave her a gender and a name.
Yeah.
And then the coffee truck, we finally finished it, and we can open the door and serve coffee out of it. And we're like, hey, we got to call this thing something.
This thing is badass too, by the way. I got to make sure I show this in like show notes or something like that, or on your Instagram page or something. Like the Roost is badass.
It's pretty wicked. So we quit the first railroad to get the truck. It took us 2 years to build it. Sat in our driveway for 2 years, and we slowly put time and effort into it. And then I went to work for another railroad, which was excellent. It's weird to jump from one career to another career. They weren't just like side jobs, they were like major jobs. And then on that second railroad, things were going well. And we thought we had an in with like a really good wholesale account. and we have that wholesale account, but it's not as fruitful as we thought. But we made the decision to quit altogether. We're going Iron Bean full time. And that was September 18th of this year. And then after 6 weeks, we were like, I'm gonna have to put in an application for another job, I think. And then November 18th, I was back to work at railroad number 3. So yeah,
like, see, some people would see that as like, damn it, I failed my dream.
No,
you're just like, no, that's just
part of the journey, man.
It's just a blip in the radar.
All day, would start in the morning and end at night. And like he'd go to work, and then he would come home, and I'd stay right up with him until we were completely ready to close the door at night.
Absolutely.
But I mean, we also received some, like, and every once in a while we'll get we'll have volunteers. Like we've had a couple of customers come and say, hey, you guys need help packing mugs or packing orders. So we've had community that just come here just to help.
Your community just comes just to visit and kick it.
Yeah.
And like
and
talk
now we
about
have, like, one part-time helper, you know, where he comes and helps once in a while. So
you guys are roasting. You have your own grind and everything that you sell, whole bean or grounded. Right. You have wholesale accounts that you're selling, so you're bringing in income that way as well. So what are some of the things you guys do to get involved in the community and you take the roost around?
Oh, geez.
What kind of events?
Yeah. Like tell people this isn't just like you live in your warehouse and you just pack shit up and then sell mugs, and have product launches.
No, on the Tuesdays, Wednesday, is it
Tuesdays
now? We're changing the schedule. So we go up to the hospital.
St. Luke's.
I always say St. Mary's.
Yeah.
We have 2 hospitals.
Yeah. We think of our hometown hospital.
St. Luke's. So we go up there and we serve the nurses, the doctors, and, you know, they come out and they get coffee, and so that's really cool. And then go to the events on the weekends. That's usually when because that's like the time you can't do anything after a Saturday afternoon. So as soon as the mailman comes, we have Saturday and Sunday. So we mostly set up events for the weekend.
Yeah. We'll show up at all kinds of different events. So we've been to 5Ks. We've been to vintage antique shows. We went to the Trump rally this week. We go to military base. We'll show up anywhere. If it makes the call, we feel like it's going to be a good fit.
Do people hit you guys up?
Yes.
Oh yeah, like
was that how it always was, or was it you in the beginning?
No, we had to seek out events in the beginning. Look, the coffee is good. We don't brag about much, but we'll brag about the truck.
As you should.
We roast good coffee. We figured out how to be okay baristas. We're definitely not baristas, but we fake it.
You're too swole to be a barista, dude.
We're not. We're okay baristas, but the truck combined with the coffee, the way it looks, it's just it's appealing. So people are like, "Oh my God, can you come to my event?" They usually show up at the truck and they see it and they're like, I have an event this day. Can you be there? And then we get phone calls. So the truck is really,
we haven't had calls. The last few that we've been to, they've called us, and so when we always say and if we're not doing that, we're driving to like a veteran place and giving out coffee, or a fire department and bringing them coffee, or donating coffee to someone. We stay busy, I think.
It's real busy. I tell you what.
And then we feel bad if we don't do enough, because it's something that when you really want to do something and then you don't get to do what what you planned on doing, or what you just want to do because something got away, or you just need like 10 minutes to yourself that day, then it kind of, feel disappointed the next day.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you had that time, but then you look back on it, you're like, man, I could have spent that doing something more productive.
So before we dive into like rapid fire, I had a couple like last questions, kind of tie a bow on this, because this is I get to hear like the whole story from the beginning to end too, more than just when we were talking, you were at Denny's and we're scheming and dreaming, like the brand and the concept behind like the design that we did together. So this show is Fuel for Your Mind and Creative Grind. And it's just funny that it just overlaps with wordplay for what you do. So the grind being like, what drives you to show up for yourself and others each day? So like, what is your internal fuels, or what is your external fuels? Like, why do you get up just stoked to get back up to the plate and keep swinging? Like, what keeps you going even when sometimes maybe you're just like worn out and tired, but you still show up?
You never feel like that, do you, baby?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
What's your, yeah, that's why I'm being sarcastic.
Well, I just love coffees. My first thing is nobody's allowed to talk to me, nothing. Life is not allowed to go on until I've had like 2 cups of coffee. So I look forward to that.
You're like a walking meme in yourself.
Yeah, I am. I'm like, when I get up, I have my 2 cups of coffee and then I'm ready to go. And I think it's like what gets me motivated in the morning is I want to make sure every order is out. If I possibly can get every single one, and I try to beat it all the time, you know, no matter how busy you are. And if I can start like the second set of labels, I just like that feeling of knowing that somebody's going to get their patch and go, oh my God, I just put this in today.
Dude, you guys do flip that
You
shit
know?
so quick too. In the group, I see people like, dude, did I just order this yesterday? How is this in my mailbox?
We try, and then there's times we look at each other and go, oh my God, we're not going to be able to always do that. But it's hard to, like, it's, you know, it's hard. So yeah, I think that's the passion. It's the getting everybody their coffee right away and enjoying it. I mean, I love the coffee. Of course I would, but you know,
yeah,
I don't know.
Like knowing that's
like
something you're passionate about. Knowing something that
most of them. So we know most of the customers. So it's a good feeling to get their coffee to them.
Yeah.
Because they came back, you know, every time they make an order, they come back. So.
My internal fuel is twofold. It's Chanel's got a very competitive drive.
I love it.
Just with coffee, though.
I get, and we both share both of these philosophies, but definitely she's stronger that way than I am. Mine is this. I have this need to serve people. I have this need to serve, and then show appreciation when I'm given the opportunity to serve. So when you feel like you didn't do anything or you didn't help anybody out after the day is gone, you know, you feel kind of depleted, like that day wasn't worthwhile at all. So that you're really kind of chasing the high of serving people. So, and then hoping that they're happy, and you know that they're going to be happy for it. But I guess I get high off, or motivated off people's satisfaction, you know, that they got something of value, that they chose to take their hard-earned money and they invested it in us to give them a product and a service. And I guess part of it is obligation, but it's not obligation like, oh, I got to do this. I have this obligation to these people that are investing their money into us, and we have to do the right thing for them as best we can every day. And that right there is motivating, because I'll tell you what, this is hard sometimes. I mean, it is hard.
It's a grind, man. You guys bust your ass.
Your feet, and I don't mean your feet hurt. I mean your legs ache and your hands hurt, and ripping tape and roasting coffee, and some days you're hot, some days you're cold. It's one of the hardest jobs I've ever had.
I packed and shipped 48 mugs.
Yeah,
we couldn't do it
even
by
though
ourselves.
we'll have like it's funny how we go through our arguments, but like we won't complain. Like for Christmas, our feet were literally on fire.
December was bad.
But we didn't complain once, but we laughed about it that night because we got home and we were like 2 biggest wimps. We were like, it was like we were complaining to the animals in the house. Like, and he's like, I didn't want to say it first. I'm like, and it don't matter. Like there's days it's like that. And we're not going to sit here and cry over our feet hurt. This is what we wanted. So you do what you have to do to get through it. Yeah. You know? So, but we waited till we got home. We started laughing about it. I'm like, oh my God, my feet are killing. He's like, mine too. It was like 2 2-year-olds in the room. Oh, mine do too. You know?
It's just will and discipline, man. And you got to motivate because you know you're doing the right thing for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I think, and when you've tapped into the passion, it makes showing up a lot easier, even if it sucks at times or your feet hurt. But if you're not passionate about something and you don't have the right reasons why you're pursuing something, it's too easy to dig into your bag of excuses and throw a white flag, you know, and be like, I'm going to take today off.
Passion.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go for something. I tell, like, we have people that come in here and they're like even one of our male girls that picks up our, she's like, I want to start a business. I don't know what to do. I'm like, and she comes up with things and she's like, I'm like, stop looking at, you just want to start a business, you know, to leave your job or to, you know, make money. I'm like, you need to find something that you really, what has been like talking to you? Like, what is your interest? What is something that you're good at? Like, what are things that you even thought of in the back of your head at one point and you just totally ignored it? I'm like, because when you think of those things, it's probably something that you wanted to do. So I'm like, you need to follow that path.
That's gold.
Or go to work, you know, I mean, somewhere else, because if you don't put that, you can tell. Like, I can always tell when a business does not have passion for their work.
Yeah.
You know, so I pay attention to that stuff. I'm one of those like people that are like wide awake to that kind of stuff.
The young kids will call you woke.
Woke. I'm woke. That's right.
No, that's so true. And like when I coach or jump on a call with someone, it's like, okay, if you could do one thing that lights you up and not even worry about like money, what would that be? And they give like themselves to talk about some things that they originally were just like, I didn't give the time of day to because it doesn't make money right away. Or I don't see anybody else do it. And I'm like, if you put the pressure to make a buck right away from like what you're passionate about, you feel too overwhelmed. It suffocates the joy.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. We think we're very successful for what the people behind us have helped us create, but we are not successful for dollars at all. I still have to go to work, right? And we never focused on the profit, which is really, really obvious sometimes.
Like when we just did our thing, we're like,
if you are just going to start if you're going to start a business to make money, this is my opinion, you are going to be way less motivated to continue the grind that it actually takes. There is no such thing as an overnight success. You're not going to be a millionaire in 12 months. All that's bullshit. You have got to love what you're doing, and you just got to do it because you love it. Somebody will pay you for it eventually. Yeah. Somebody will pay you for it eventually. But
unless it was handed to you. But you know, even those businesses, like
screw that up too.
I grew up in upstate New York, and I've seen a lot of businesses that, like, when I was a little girl, I would go to them, and then I see them closing up because it was passed on to the family. They don't have that passion that mom and pop had, you know. And then all of a sudden things change and they close the doors, you know. So
yeah, because it wasn't real. I don't know.
Right.
No, that's
and you just
awesome.
got to do it. And you just got to do it. I hate to be a Nike commercial on here, but there is a lot. You have got to do it because we thought about it for 20 years. And then we have this conversation now. Yeah. Man, if we'd have just did this thing 15 years ago, we'd be in so much better shape, or we could have done what we wanted. It would have been, you know, we could have made all the decisions we're making now way back then, so we could be making newer, bigger, greater decisions about the same thing. When we would always say, "What if you look back on your life?"
That's your saying.
Chanell hates
I can't
this saying,
stand that saying,
but I live by it. So, and I heard it on some YouTube channel somewhere.
I don't like it, and I'll tell you why.
A year from now, or 5 years from now, what are you going to look back on today and wish you did? What are you going to wish you did today?
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me your Facebook quote.
No,
like, don't look back.
No,
you're not going that way. I'm like,
that just looks cool on paper.
Face what you did. So me and him have an argument over his quotes.
You got to try to think forward. And there ain't nobody that can see the future. It's impossible to see the future. But once you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you've lived long enough to be able to look back and have some regrets, right? And the older you get, the more you can look back and say, man, I should have done that. Man, I wish I did this. Man, oh man, oh man. And the older you get, the more overwhelming. It's like a diner menu of things you should have done at that point. So you just have to think, in a year from now, what am I going to wish I did today? And that's the shit you need to start doing today.
Yep.
Because today becomes tomorrow, and then it becomes 5 years, and you're like, 40. Yeah, and then you're 40 when you start tomorrow. Coffee company instead of 23, like when you should have done it.
Nah, that's all gold, man. And I think that's like the biggest part of the takeaway of just this entire episode. Rapid fire then. If you were on death row, Fred, if you listen, you know this one's coming. What would your last slice of pizza be?
Oh, pineapple and ham, baby. Hawaiian.
Anywhere specific.
Hawaiian?
Pizza Cat. Pizza Cat.
Is this a real thing, or are you just pulling my chain?
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And I try to tag you every once in a while, but I know I'm real late in the comments. So it's, the interaction phase is over. It's like 2 days later.
One day I will get there when I come visit the Roost in person. Like, please take me there.
You're going to Pizza Cat.
I'm going to Pizza Cat. What about you, Chanell?
He thinks it's the best.
Oh, she got a different pizza.
No, I hate to say this against New York because I'm from there, but I like Chicago deep dish.
That's okay.
I like everything on it, like even spinach, lots of cheese, garlic, you name it, as long as it's deep dish. So
mine is just Domino's. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Just kidding. They've stepped their
Like
game
what
up.
you like.
They've stepped their game up though. But I'm Casey's gas station pieces. You guys have Casey's
Not
General
like-
Store?
Yes.
Yeah, they're
So
good
you
too.
know what I'm
Even
talking about.
This one over here, every time he'll say, "Babe, where do you want to go out to eat?" And I'm like, "I don't care." So he'll pull in the Speedway and get me a pizza or a hot dog.
Ooh,
You didn't
that's
care.
that's how romance continues to thrive.
He sure has that down pat.
Man, I'm killing it in the romance department.
If you could have lunch with one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Ooh, what do you think, baby?
Elvis.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know. I
Like
him.
those hips shaking, huh?
You know, yeah, I like him. I don't know. I just like it. I think because I grew up around the music and probably the Iceman. He's the guy that killed a bunch of people, the mafia guy. I love that guy. I don't know what it is about. I don't agree with what he did, but I just find a deep heart in him. For some reason, I definitely hang out with him.
Those are two new, completely unique answers on this.
Yeah,
So,
I know. That's
What about-
why.
what about you, Fred?
Mine would be The Rock.
Okay.
I don't know.
Rock?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Dude, I
he's
love
cool.
The Rock. The
I
Rock
don't
for
know what it
president,
is
please.
about The Rock, but I am in love with that man. He would just look at me and give me that eyebrow and go, "Hey, Fred, can you smell what The Rock is cooking?"
Oh
and
my God.
And then he come out with a pizza. That'd be the best day ever.
I do like The Rock. I love The Rock. All right. More personal ones. What's your personal favorite blend that you roast or that you suggest someone try first?
That's a good one.
I'm
Well,
letting you plug. Give yourself a selfless plug.
well,
Your favorite roast, baby.
my favorite roast is fierce, but it has to be cold and in a lot, like a cold latte. Like that is
Okay.
like my ultimate. It gets me going. Like I can have like 4 of those a day and then I'm off the wall. But if I have a hot one, it's got to be Thor.
Yep.
I'm not the dark roast, so I was really surprised when I liked fierce. But I remember my first like cold latte. I was like, so, but it's normally all the medium roasts. Like I like Rocco, I like Thor, I love Rage, and he's all the dark roasts.
Yeah, except for one. So my go-to coffee, I'm looking at the shelf now because it's right there. My go-to coffee would be cast iron. It's a Honduran single origin. It's nutty. It's mellow. It's generally like, oh my God, this is amazing coffee. It's our most underrated because it doesn't have the coolest bag. But when people get it, they're like, oh my God, it's the best coffee I ever had.
Branding's everything.
Say that about all of them.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it would definitely be cast iron. It's number one. It's the very first coffee we ever made. And it ain't never going nowhere. That's my number one.
All right. What's your favorite mug that you guys have ever released? And this isn't biased. I'm not trying to trick you here or anything, but like I truly just want to know what is like the
Let's
one.
see, yours. No,
No,
This is where he picks his up and goes, what's your favorite?
Truly, what is your favorite one?
Oh boy.
Because you guys launched like how many mugs?
God, we
You
got
think?
so many.
Oh
I
my
like
God, it's probably 40.
I like the Rage Against the Dying of the Light, the double medallion, the dual medallion, because it has Nori on one side and Dylan on the other. And that's probably my favorite one.
That was a game changer mug too.
Yeah.
Very first time a company put a medallion on each side of the mug.
Was that Sunset or Deneen?
That was a sunset mug.
Sunset.
Yeah, it was just a gorgeous mug.
My favorite mug was the first one we ever did. We call it the OG.
Oh, wait a minute.
the
I do
OG
have another
kettle
one.
mug.
Which one? The Valentine's one where,
That was another badass
like,
mug.
so we had 2 mugs. We had a righty and a lefty, and it was Dylan throwing a bow and arrow into, the heart thing, the little cute stuff. So that was my other one. All right, go ahead. You can talk.
That's all right.
Okay.
The OG mug. The OG mug will always be my favorite because that mug releasing that mug was the catalyst for when our sales really started to grow. So you mentioned Deneen. Deneen did that mug for us way back, and I think we ordered it and never thought we were going to sell any of them. I just wanted to see our logo on a stoneware mug, and that's really why we made the minimum order. And then we put them on the website, and we're like, ain't nobody going to buy these for $25. I can tell you that. But they sat there for a little while, and then somebody bought one, and they shared it in one of the mug rooms, in one of the mug groups on Facebook, and bam, we sold
Took
them all
off.
like in a day.
Yeah.
And fortunately, they had to buy some coffee to get free shipping. We're like, oh, this coffee's not so bad. And then
Smart.
Yeah, her name was Danielle.
that was
and
the-
she and then as soon as she tried that too, she said, "Can I share your stuff?" We're like, "Sure." We didn't have any idea about the rooms, nothing until she
Those mug rooms changed the game for me. I didn't realize there was a diehard community like there. Like I already
Neither.
loved coffee and coffee mugs, but like that changed Now my mug game is like insane.
Yeah.
You know, so last thing, where can people go to follow you online and support you? And how can people, listeners of this podcast, get in on the action?
Facebook is, I don't even know what our Facebook name is. So we have these apps, right? We didn't think about branding when we first started, so they're all different. It's Facebook at The Iron Bean, Instagram at Iron Bean Coffee Company, which is long as hell. Twitter, we're not on Twitter. There's too much other crap on there. We just get drowned into the noise. Facebook and Instagram are the major ones.
I'll link them up in the show notes too.
If you type Iron Bean Coffee in any search bar, you're gonna find us. www.ironbeancoffee.com. But the group, the community of supportive, coffee like-minded individuals is the Iron Bean Nation.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
TM
on the end. You don't have to type it; it'll pop up.
I call them my posse because when I'm sure you've seen them. If somebody goes in there and even starts a little bit of trouble, everybody attacks them. And I'm like, I love them guys. I mean, they really.
There might be a little drama here and there, but I just like to get my popcorn and my little coffee and enjoy it.
There's a little bit of everybody in there. Everyone has their own special thing about them. Everybody can just be themselves.
That's the coolest part.
So,
it's kind of an escape place inside Facebook.
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook is a part of our lives, everybody's life, and it's going to be for a long time, I imagine. There's a lot of other social networks that are going to come up. They're probably going to be huge. They may disappear. I don't know. But Facebook seems to be the one that has the foundation piece.
But you got your website so people can always find you if something happened.
Always.
Yeah.
About random crap on there. The website's key.
So is the pizza promo code still a thing? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, for real. It's legit.
Tell people about that real quick, and then we'll let you go.
So Scotty.D.Russell and the Perspective Collective, if you want to support Scotty.D.Russell and the Perspective Collective, use coupon code PIZZA.
Go figure.
Pizza.
What else is it going to be, right? Coupon code PIZZA at checkout. It'll give you 15% off, and a percentage of those sales is going to go back to Scotty and the Perspective podcast.
Okay, I didn't know that part.
You're like, okay.
Surprise!
I was gonna plug it anyway.
Guy, so.
Yep.
And that goes for like merch and mugs and coffee. So, hell yeah, that's dope. Okay, I'll be blasting that shit real quick.
Yeah. We'll send your affiliate link at the end of this episode.
All right. I just want to say thank you so much and the patience for like finally making this happen. I think it's the story parallels. I find so much inspiration in what you guys are doing and how I can apply it to my own creative grind. And I think a lot of other people are going to too. So thanks for being like such a nice switch up and a pivot of kind of the normal creative guests that I have on. I think people are going to find a lot of value in this. So I appreciate your time.
I hope so. Or they're going to be like, those guys are total dorks.
That's right. Don't fall into comparison trap.
No comparison traps here.
Yeah, cut it up.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys, and let's keep in touch. Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
you
Scotty.
take care,
Bye.
Scotty.
Thanks again for listening. It'd be awesome if you took the time to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and let the comment below so we can connect. Again, if you want to catch a shout out as a future listener of the week, make sure you subscribe to the show on iTunes and give it a rating and review.